On the GTN Show this week, Kristian Blummenfelt is not going to the Tour de France. Ironman and Challenger both announced new races, and the T100 have announced one of their races is not going to happen. Welcome to the GTN Show. Just me today because Mark is out in Nice enjoying cocktails on the beach. Or working hard, as the case may be. I think he's pretending to work.
Hey James, hey GTN viewers. Yeah, we are having a great time out here in Nice. It has been busy so far. Filming with Anne Haug yesterday, for example. That was seriously cool. Very honoured to get invited along for a day of training with her. And today we've got another jam-packed day, filming with more pros. So yeah, watch this space, but looking forward to you getting out here, James. Nice one. Cool, I think that'll do. Should we get another ice cream with a little jump in the sea? That'd be cool, yeah. Oh crap, it's still rolling. Wait, switch this off.
In the news, Kristian Blummenfelt has backtracked on his plans to go to the Tour de France. Kristian Blummenfelt's coach Olive Alexander Boo has announced that they are going to focus on Paris 2028. And this is a bit of an about turn. He said, after Paris, we've done a review and have decided to aim for Los Angeles 2028. Despite the results in Paris, we're more confident after the race that going back from Ironman to the Olympics is possible, and we want to give it one last shot. This is what Boo told Velo, news outlet, earlier this week, which contradicts quite a lot what he originally said. In fact, it's a complete U-turn from what he said before the Olympic Games. And if I remind you what he said it's 90% likely that we will go to cycling next year. The reason I say 90% is that we haven't signed a contract yet. There are still a few small things that must be cleared. Clearly, none of those things were cleared, and they've decided that they are going to focus on triathlon and the Olympic Games and not go the whole Tour de France route. To be honest, no one really believed he was going to be able to pull that off. Maybe be a domestique, but I'm not sure he'd ever have won the Tour de France, but now we'll never know. For his part, Kristian Blummenfelt did actually say on his YouTube that they got Paris wrong, and they do believe that they can get it right going from Ironman to Olympic distance. He got 12th in Paris, so not an awful result, but when you were going for gold, it's pretty far away from the result you're looking for. He said on his YouTube channel, I don't think it's the Ironman racing I did in 2022. It's sort of more, we have to be honest with ourselves. The decisions we did in training, how we were weighting it in the last 12 months, that was not good enough. It was obviously good enough to be in Ironman shape, because 3 weeks later he did win Ironman Frankfurt with a blistering time. But I think it's been tilted a bit in the wrong direction. So clearly his plan is to go back to Ironman for a little while and then focus on on Los Angeles 2028, and this time get it right, that shift. Of course, he will be 35 by the time Los Angeles comes around, and that's okay for an Ironman athlete, but that's pushing it for an Olympic distance athlete needing to run 29 minutes for the 10K. But hey, if anyone can do it, it's Kristian Blummenfelt. Meanwhile, current Ironman World Champion Sam Laidlow has made light of it all. He posted on his Instagram stories, official announcement at the end of the year, I'll be stopping triathlon in an attempt to win the Tour de France. He then posted another post saying another official announcement, following the 2024 season, I'll make the move to mountain bike or breakdancing before moving back to triathlon. And then he said, actually, nah, screw it, I'm going to do triathlon. And then he said, another post, just kidding, Big Blue, wish everyone had this guy's ambition, love you, Kristian Blummenfelt. Yeah, I think everyone kind of feels a little bit the same. We love Kristian Blummenfelt and everything he's brought to the sport and everything like that. But also, some of his ambition is a little bit way up there. Anyway, he's back to Ironman for the foreseeable future and triathlon until Los Angeles 2028. So we're all celebrating. Meanwhile, Ironman has released a YouTube docu-series leading up to the Ironman World Champs, the first one happening this weekend in Nice, the following one happening in October in Kona, the men's one. It's called An Iron Will. It's 5 episodes docu-series following 5 champions, that is Chelsea Sodaro, Cam Worth, Daniel Arif, Kat Matthews, and Sam Laidlow behind the scenes as they prepare for the Ironman World Champs. Of course, some of those are going to have caveats because Daniel Arif, for example, is not doing the IRONMAN World Champs. I haven't actually watched it yet, but it is available on YouTube, so you can go watch it. And it's good to see Ironman making some behind-the-scenes content. Everyone seems to have upped their game since T100 started doing exactly the same thing. The T100 have announced that the finale of the T100 series this year will happen on the 16th and 17th of November in Dubai, and a spectacular finale, apparently. The PTO CEO, Sam Renouf, said, "It has always been our ambition to crown our first T100 Triathlon World Champions in a spectacular race at an iconic location. Given the huge interest we have seen in Dubai from both the local and international triathlon community, we have decided that Dubai will give the first year of the T100 Triathlon World Tour the series finale it deserves. Dubai will be our largest event of the year, with over 10,000 participants set to compete across a range of distances and individual disciplines. Combining that scale with the stunning backdrop of the maiden racecourse and the Dubai skyline means we're finishing our inaugural year with a bang." I'm not sure where they're going to get the 10,000 participants from. I imagine it must be something along the lines of 9,800 people competing in a 10K race or a 5K fun run, and the rest doing a triathlon. But 10,000 people competing in anything is going to be a spectacular event. But this is very much putting a positive spin on what is not good news. It's bad news. In fact, they were supposed to have the grand finale 2 weeks later on the 29th of November at an undisclosed location, and that's been cancelled. Meaning that the whole series, instead of 8 races, is only going to be 7 races. CEO Sam Renouf, again, while we originally planned for an 8-race series in 2024 and have been exploring some exciting potential venues, a combination of lining up all the approvals and those locations not quite being ready to hold an event befitting the T100 Triathlon World Championship final made the decision to move the final to Dubai, an easy one in the end. Now, a little bit disappointing as a spectators and fans' point of view, because they did promise 8 races. Obviously also for the pros who've been planning to race those 8 races, now they now only have 7. It changes the points, etc. a little bit, because they contracted to 4 races in the finale, and a couple of people who had special dispensation to the Olympics were contracted to 3 plus the finale. Now they've had to change that. They said, in light of the series now being 7 races, the number of races for contracted T100 athletes has been reduced from 5 to 4 plus the final. And the athletes who compete at the Olympics, who are required to complete in 3 races plus the final, will now get the points from the 2 races that they have competed in or do compete in, plus the third points will be made up of an average of those 2 races, and then their final points, because obviously they're not now in a position to actually race 3 races and the finale. So their points will be an average of the 2 non-final races plus their final points. The final, of course, has a few more points than the rest of them. So they will crown a series champion. We will get a T100 Triathlon World Tour champion, but we won't get that finale, the 8th race that we were hoping for. I guess I'm glad they pulled it off this far, and no one's really going to complain. Compared to what we had last year, I think it's a big step in the right direction and very exciting for the sport of triathlon. Let's hope there's no other curveballs thrown at us, and next year we can have a full 8-race series. In the meantime, we're going to start looking ahead to next weekend, where there's the T100 Ibiza, and that should be pretty interesting, especially with those women coming only 6 days after the IRONMAN World Championships. Moving swiftly on, Tomas Rodriguez has been handed down a 2-year ban. The Mexican triathlete exploded onto the scene in April this year when he won Ironman Texas with a blisteringly fast marathon of 2 hours, 34 minutes and 14 seconds, outrunning Patrick Lange in the process. But it proved too good to be true, because a test taken at that event, an in-competition test, showed the presence of clomiphene, a banned substance. He was provisionally suspended, a suspension that he protested against and challenged, and he released a statement saying he was innocent. He actually said it was a contaminated food because of the abundance of eggs and chicken that he ate in his diet. He didn't say which came first. But he has now officially been banned. From the 6th of June 2024 until the 5th of June 2026, he is no longer eligible to compete, and his competitive results will be stripped from that 27th of April date. The 2-year ban is the default sanction, apparently, for this presence of this specified substance, such as clomiphene. I thought it was 4 years, but apparently I was wrong. So he's got 2 years. Patrick Lange is obviously now the winner of that, and he put out a statement to say sometimes victories can be bittersweet. After Ironman Texas in late April, I was officially awarded the win today following the positive doping test of the athlete, in inverted commas, who initially crossed the line ahead of me. This is my second victory in Texas from 2 starts. He went on to say a few other things, but he said, reaching the top takes years of dedication and hard work, but it's absolutely possible to get there clean. No one becomes a champion overnight. I am proud of my performance and grateful to Ironman for their commitment to fighting doping. So, he's basically summed it all up there. Obviously, he doesn't get to celebrate winning and crossing the line first, which is always frustrating, but at least they did catch this particular doper. Moving on, Ironman have announced a new race here in the UK, Ironman Leeds. Leeds, of course, has some triathlon history, being the host city for the World Triathlon Championship series for a few years, and also the birthplace of a certain Alistair and Johnny Brownlee. It also is a training location for current Olympic champion Alex Yee. The race will actually take place in the same place as the World Triathlon Championship Series, in the same lake at Roundhay Park, before a 180 kilometre bike course in the Yorkshire Dales with approximately 2,500 metres of climbing. So that's going to be a punchy bike ride. And then a multi-lap course around that Roundhay Park, which is pretty scenic. So it should be a good race. But if UK athletes were excited about adding another full distance to the local calendar and being able to do another one, unfortunately, they were disappointed when they saw the date, because there aren't many full distances in the UK, and one of the most popular ones is the Outlaw Triathlon full distance in Nottingham, and the Ironman has been announced on exactly the same day, only 90 minutes away in Leeds. So Outlaw founder Ian Hamilton told Tri 24/7, "It's been 15 years since we started Outlaw Triathlon, and the support from the triathlon community has been nothing short of amazing. But I have to admit, when I found out Ironman was launching their Leeds event on the exact same day as our Outlaw full distance race in July, my heart sank a little." And you can imagine why. Obviously, in Ironman's defense, of course, there's only so many weeks of the year in the UK where you can actually hold a triathlon, maybe 6 to 8 weeks, particularly up north. In fact, this summer you probably only had about 3 or 4 weeks where you could potentially hold it without the weather being absolutely terrible. So they were probably pressed for dates, and I don't think they did this on purpose to make life difficult for the Outlaw Triathlon or anything like that. But it is a bit frustrating when the calendar is, there's so few full distances in the UK and now there's 2 on the same day. Meanwhile, Challenge have announced a new full distance, this one in the Middle East. Challenge Sir Bani Yas will happen on the 3rd to the 7th of April 2025 on Sir Bani Yas Island, which I'd never heard of, but apparently it's the largest island in the United Arab Emirates off the coast of Abu Dhabi, and it's a wildlife preserve, which with 17,000 free-roaming animals, including Arabian oryx, gazelles, giraffes, hyenas, and cheetahs. Renowned for its stunning natural beauty, the island offers an array of tourism activities, and now it's also got a triathlon, including the Middle East's first full-distance triathlon, an iron distance, which will be 3.8k and then 180k's around the island before a flat, fast 42-kilometre run. There is also a middle distance race on the same weekend, and there are some other community activities. So it sounds like it's going to be quite a destination race. Triathlon has never seen anything like Challenge Sir Bani Yas, said Challenge family CEO Jort Vlam. Nowhere else in the world can athletes enjoy such an all-encompassing experience in such a spectacular setting, with everything laid on for them and their families thanks to unrivaled Middle Eastern hospitality. It's definitely going to be a smooth, flat, fast racecourse. On to the race news, and there was 70.3 in Michigan this past week. It was won by Jeannie Metzler from South Africa, who lives in Boulder, I believe. Adele Licken was second and Grace Alexander in third. On the men's side, Jackson Laundrie took the win there, ahead of Ben Canute in second and Matt Sharp in third. There was also Challenge Almere in the Netherlands, which was the World Triathlon Long Distance European Championships. Marlene de Boer took the win there, ahead of Alana Siffert from Switzerland and Jana Uderstad in third. On the men's side, Jasper Svensson took the win, ahead of Joshua Lewis from the UK and Lars Lomholt in third. And of course, upcoming this weekend, we have the IRONMAN World Champs in Nice, France. I'll be heading out there to join Mark this weekend, and we'll bring you all of the action, including an immediate recap as soon as we can after the race is actually concluded, and possibly bring our show for next week from Nice. So I look forward to all of that content. On to Try Spy, and this one tricked a few of you, but also quite a few of you got it right. First, Dakilmoti said Imogen Simmons. Not right, I'm afraid. Ben Drennan, Kat Matthews. Nope. Bahia Zal, Beth Potter. April Kerr said Kat Matthews also. Peter King said India Lee. But Andrew Jones, I believe, was the first one to get it right. Georgia Taylor Brown. And then, of course, we had George Gasco also got it. Sichuan got it. Aussie Ams got it right. And Skulk van der Merwe also got it right, saying Try Spy, definitely Georgia Taylor Brown. She's awesome, by the way. It was Georgia Taylor Brown, so well done all of these who got it right. We might have to make these a little bit more difficult. So for this week, we've got this one. Let me know if you can tell who that is. We'll reveal it next week. Say what? That doesn't sound the same when you have to do it on your own. Okay, this is some comments under last week's show where we spoke about the 120 Ironmans in 120 days that Jonas Deichmann has just completed, and whether that record would ever be broken. And we got a few comments under the show. Hart Lieber said, Robert Karas from Poland will do 150 Ironmans in 150 days in like a month. I assume he means he's going to start it in a month. Yeah, can't fit 150 days in a month. Koya also said, meanwhile, Karas is preparing for 150 times Ironman, because we asked, do you think the record of 120 and 120 days will ever be broken? So I read that and I thought, what? Say what? See what I did there? So I had to Google this. I found out he is planning to do 150 Ironmans in 150 days, this Robert Karas. He's planning also, he's stated he's going to do them all in around 9.5 hours, which is significantly faster than Jonas Deichmann, because he was around 14.5 hours for most of them. And then I carried on Googling, and I found that this guy was caught doping. At the Decaman event in May 2023, where he smashed the world record for 10 times Ironman event in something like 160 hours, doesn't really matter because he was doping. He got a 2-year ban, but then in February this year, in Florida, he did another event, a 5 times Ironman, where he, again, tested positive. Now, you may be asking, how is he even racing if he's banned from the last one? But apparently this wasn't under World Anti-Doping Agency's rules because it wasn't a signed federation, so you could do the event, but they still had testing there, and he tested positive again for, I believe, nandrolone and clomiphene. So he's, well, he said after the first positive, I knew I was taking it, but I didn't delve into what it was. I asked if it was legal. He told me, in 72 hours you won't have it in your system, so I knew it was something illegal. But he took it anyway. I'm glad they caught him. To be honest, if he does do 150 Ironmans in 150 days, don't at me. I'm not interested. Coming up this week on the channel, we of course have our IRONMAN World Champs Nice reaction video, which we'll bring to you as soon as possible after the race, so watch out for that. We'll run through exactly what happened in that race, which promises to be exciting. Also, as I said, Mark is out there in Nice already, and he's done Anne Haug's last workout, or one of her last workouts, which he did with her, I believe, and suffered his way through it. A run workout too, which well, she definitely put him through his paces. So that's coming out later this week on the channel. If you're looking for something to watch right now, we made a little video on simple health tips for triathletes, which you may think is, I don't need that, I'm healthy. Go watch it. Trust me, there's a few things in there that may help you be a little bit healthier, and a little bit healthier means a little bit faster. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.